What is the best camera for hybrid photography and video? Well, that depends on a couple of things. Are you going to use one or a two camera setup? Is photo more important than video, or is video more important than photo? So are you a photographer that wants to shoot video, or are you a videographer that wants to shoot photo? Or do you want to make an equal balance like I do? I think they're both the same for me. Of course, your experience is also very important. How experienced are you at photography or on video, or both of them? So the basic requirement for the camera is that the camera has a manual setting. So the camera should have a manual photo setting and a manual video setting. So manual adjusting every setting. So if you're watching this video and you're like, well, my camera doesn't have a manual video setting, only a manual photo setting, I cannot watch the video. Well, you can. You can watch this video, it's no problem, because you will learn a lot of this video. You'll learn what you need for camera. Because I think there's a lot of useful information in this video about hybrid shooting and photography in general. And don't forget, I started in 2010. So the camera I had was, let me check, was this one. This is a Canon 5D Mark II. I shot hybrid with a Canon 5D Mark II. This isn't a hybrid camera at all. To activate the video function, you have to go into the software and put it on video to shoot video. But I still did it anyway. And just to show you that even a camera that's 17 or almost 18 years old can do hybrid, you definitely can do it with your camera that's like 2 years old, 3 years old. The photographer or the person using the camera is the most important person. For this video, I've made a list of hybrid cameras that are great for hybrid shooting. I've put them on the screen so you can see if your camera is between those or you need to buy a new camera. But I have to give a little disclaimer because the video will age. There will be new firmware versions and software versions for your cameras. Settings may change of cameras. For instance, my Canon R5, when it first came out, it was a hybrid camera, it was built for hybrid shooting. But for me, it had a lot of problems while shooting hybrid. But now, after all those firmware versions, it's a great hybrid camera. I would recommend the R5, still the old one, for hybrid shooting. But in the beginning, I had a lot of problems with this camera. If you want to be sure if your camera has the functions you need, go to your local camera store, ask if those functions are on the camera. If they don't know, test it out. Sometimes they say yes and they aren't sure, so be sure that they say it's possible or they show you it's possible. Like I said, the way you shoot hybrid depends on different things. So first, are you going to use one or two cameras? If you use one camera, it's very easy. You need a full dedicated hybrid camera. You need a camera that can shoot photo and video, and for both of it has a manual mode. Preferably, I like a camera that has a programmable button. The programmable button is a button you can pre-program video settings to. And you may be thinking, but how do you know what settings to use before you even start a shoot? Well, that is one of the things you're going to learn in this video. If you use one camera, you can put it in photo mode. And when you press record, the record button, it instantly starts recording video. And if I take my R5, I press the recording button, I press it and it starts shooting video, even when I'm in photo mode. That's a very important feature when you are shooting hybrid, when you can switch from photo to video. I think it's mandatory for hybrid shooting so you can switch between photo and video very easily. Of course, if you take a camera like the R5 Mark II, it's purposely built for hybrid shooting. But there are cameras that are less expensive that have the same functions as an R5 Mark II. To be clear, I'm using my Canons because I shoot Canon. You saw a list on the screen for other brands. The same goes for every brand. When you go higher up in the camera quality, you will get a camera that has better functions. But the basic cameras nowadays all have the same hybrid settings. If you go for a two camera setup, you could choose one camera for video and the other camera for photo. So one camera shoots video and the other shoots photo. The great thing about the setup is that you have a dedicated video camera with a dedicated lens for video and a dedicated photo camera to shoot photo, with of course a photo lens. So instead you could use two cameras that both shoot photo and video, but with different lenses. For example, one camera with a prime lens and the other one with a zoom lens. You can mix it up. The important thing is that you can shoot with one camera or with two cameras. One camera is also a little bit simpler in my opinion. This is also very important about your camera body. I think it's also very important for your hybrid camera to have a dual memory card slot. So you can choose a backup card. So this way it makes 2 backups of your footage, your photos and your videos. Because memory cards can fail, will fail, and to have a backup is very, very important. You don't want to mess around with software to get your data back. It's a nightmare. You also want a camera that can shoot log. Log is something I will explain later on in the video. I will tell you everything about what it is and what you need. You do not strictly need it, because I started with a camera that couldn't shoot log because I was just trying stuff out. But if you want to go to the next level and don't want to switch cameras after a year or 2 years, I think to have a camera that should log is just better. It's simply better. And that brings us automatically to lenses, because a lot of what your camera body can do leads to the lens.